Nope, nope, back up. Back down, gentle.
Hey everybody, quick note before we jump in. I started this channel a couple years ago when daughter number 2 was pregnant with her second kid. Figured I'd throw some truck videos up to keep her first little one entertained watching the face. That's me, Grandpa. Never thought anybody else would want to watch, but here we are. The video is part 1 of the series, the full history. Next up is the current walk-around and mods as she sits today. Then we'll do some deep dives on the drivetrain, the suspension, the armor, and then the rest of the stuff, all rolled up into one big finale. If you like this one, the whole series is coming. Alright, let's get to the truck. I've had a ton of requests for a full walk-around of the truck. This is our 2016 regular cab short bed. We call her Truck. I know, silly name, but hey, Grappies get to be goofy. She replaced our 2012 1500 Sportsman, which was a solid truck. We started using her more for off-roading, exploring the Rockies, and long hauls. I craved better performance and capability, especially the torque needed for bigger tires. The old truck had a 4.7 flex fuel engine, but it was underpowered at altitude, and even with 392 gears, it wasn't going to cut it for 35s. She needed to handle forest roads, off-road duties, long drives, and daily tasks comfortably, so we upgraded. I started searching everywhere and thought I'd have to custom order one, but then the truck popped up. Almost everything on my wish list: regular cab, short bed, Hemi, 4x4, 392 gears, a bench seat, nicely appointed with no leather. The only misses were sliding rear window and keyless entry and start. I bought the truck planning for 35s down the line. As soon as she got home, we'd made an appointment with the local shop to swap the front suspension. We upgraded to Bilstein 5100s, Mickey Thompson side biters in 17x8.5, and Toyo Open Country RTs in 295 7017s, you know, metric 33s. We set the Bilsteins at 2.1 inches for a level stance. Life was good. The Toyos were quiet, the wheels were light, and the Bilsteins were way better than stock. But on that first hunt, loaded up, she had that Carolina squat, and the ride suffered on washboards with the stock rear springs and shocks. In 2017, we upgraded further. We debadged the doors, but more importantly, added Icon rear suspension with 1.5-inch dual-rate lift coils and Icon 2.0 shocks. We also bumped the front Bilsteins up to 2.8 inches. The ride improved incredibly. Almost no rear wheel hop on those washboards. Fast forward to 2018. Toyos were worn out after 50,000 miles, but they'd stayed quiet. It was time for those 35s I'd planned for, so we went with the Dick CPEC Trail Country EXPs. I chose the brand and the metric sizing for the price. Everything's always a compromise. The traction was solid, but they got loud and cut badly despite 5,000 mile rotation and balances. For my 50th birthday, Gammy, my wife and partner in crime in all these crazy adventures, headed to Vegas, the long way, you know, through Moab. I said, let's find an easy trail so we can say we wheeled it. We ended up running the Schaefer Trail switchbacks all the way up from the river. We finished the whole thing and went over to Tower Arch. But over on Tower Arch, we hit a ledge we could have gone down, but we'd have rolled the stock bumper clean under on the way back up. So we turned around, like the responsible adults we pretend to be. The truck was still shiny back then, and I didn't want to scratch it up on my big birthday trip. In 2021, while driving to meet daughter number 2 in Ouray, Colorado, we somehow blew right past the sign that said US 550 would be closed from 1 to 5 p.m. We didn't notice until we were in Silverton eating lunch. Too late to turn back to Durango. We asked the phone for a shortcut. It drew a little squiggly line up and over the mountain. I looked at Gammy and said, okay, truck's done a little off-roading. We'll be fine. Turns out Siri sent us up over Ophir Pass, a full-on Jeep Badge of Honor trail. Zero clue till we were halfway up. The views were stunning, and we were laughing the whole way, cruising through the alpine meadows, looking down into the steep valleys. As we crested the pass and looked down the other side, it's a shelf road with a 1,000-foot drop-off. Coming down, I'm white-knuckling a little on the inside. Realized we only had the factory donut spare. No way that thing would have survived a flat. The rocks were super sharp shale, and we were fully aired up. We made it down clean, but Gammy and I both agreed this is a lot of fun, but next time we need 5 full-size matching tires so we can do this without the pucker factor. That random detour was what really lit the fire. 2 years later, we're climbing Hell's Gate because why not? And the truck's never been the same since. After the Ophir Pass adventure and the temporary spare pucker moment, we knew it was time to ditch the loud Cup Dixie Pegs. I really like the old Toyo Open Country RTs, but I've been reading good stuff about the Nitto Ridge Grappler, and the price was basically the same. So we grabbed 5 35 12.5 R17s, finally a full flotation tire. We went with 5, and we could do 5 tire rotations. Boom, no more donut worries. Only problem? Mickey Thompson had quit making the side biters in that size I needed. I didn't want mismatched wheels in the rotation, so we stepped up to Icon Rebound 17 by 8.5s, the lightest wheel I could find with the right specs, and they look great in titanium. At the same time, we were right around 80,000 miles. The front Bilsteins were toast, and the rear Icons were leaking. It's not a knock on either brand. This truck lives a third of its life on washboard roads and in the dirt. Shocks are just wear items. So we went big. Icon 2.5 coilovers, up front set at 2.5 inches of lift. This was the first time we really did any major upgrade work ourselves. Well, Chasen really did most of the work. I just handed him tools and learned. We also put on a fresh set of Icon 2.0s in the rear. Of course, after you mod it, you have to take it for a test drive. Chase and I went out in the desert west of Albuquerque. Sand trails, little rocks. We spotted a sand dune. I hit it at 20 miles an hour. The front suspension compressed, the bumper dug in, and folded under. I ended up ripping off the lower valence. I stared at that rolled under mess for months. I just couldn't unsee it. The stock bumpers were done. Well, we decided to do the whole shooting match at once. Chassis Unlimited Octane front with hidden winch mount, matching Octane rear, and the Octane front skid plate. The best looking armored bumper without that underbite look, and the approach to part triangles jumped way up. Jason had been bugging me to go wheeling in Moab, and finally I said, alright, we'll take the truck and run a couple easy trails. We'll see how she does. Honestly, I was mostly doing it to support him. Still thought of my Ram as my hunting rig, not a rock crawler. We started with chicken corners to get our feet wet, then ran veins and things the next day. This was a trail I'd wanted to do ever since my 50th birthday trip, but skipped it because it definitely would have rolled the bumper under. Figured with the new armor, I'd get most of the way through fins, and if we get stuck, we just find a shortcut back to the hotel. The truck sailed through fins and things like it was nothing. The next morning, Jason says, let's try top of the world. I look it up. It's rated a 6 on Trails Off-Road. No bypasses, big obstacles right in the middle. I told him, okay, but if we get to that ledge, and it looks like we're going to hurt the truck, we'll just park it and finish the trail near Jeep. So we stacked a couple rocks, he spots me, and the Ram just walks right up. We cruise to the top and snap that hero picture. First time I've ever seen a half-ton at the actual top of the world. Still the only picture I can find online. Got a bunch of no way looks from the Jeeps and side-by-sides. Coming back down that big obstacle was intense. But we made it, and that was it. I was officially hooked. What started as, I'll tag along with Chase and turned into, hey, when are we going back? And that, folks, is the trip that poured the fuel on the fire that Ophir had set. Later that same summer in 23, we headed to the San Juans. First day we ran Imogene Pass, just incredible high alpine views. The next morning we hit Poughkeepsie Gulch and the Wall. That's granite, not Moab sandstone. It's slicker than snot, and it had rained the night before. The tires were wet, and the truck slid sideways into a crevice, and for the first time ever, we had to winch. We hit the rear passenger cab corner, the first real beauty mark. There had been tiny bed kisses here and there, but nothing like this. The views were absolutely worth it though. Coming up those passes through the wildflowers and the old mines, it was just gorgeous. That cab corner crunch is exactly what finally made me pull the trigger on rock sliders. We went with the Coastal Offroad weld-together sliders with kick-ons. Supposed to have 3 frame legs, but on a regular cab short bed, there's only room for 2. Turns out I never need the 3rd anyway. The truck's been fully on those sliders more times than I can count, and they've never budged. We line axed them, and it rubs off the bottom a little, but we just shoot it with black spray paint, and it's good. Tops are still as grippy as ever. Yeah, we gave up a hair of ground clearance, but it's been 100% worth it. First trip back to Moab with them, we hit the big wall and fins and things. I'd bypassed it the year before. but this time we put the full weight on the passenger side sliders. Didn't even flinch. Then we ran Lockhart Basin, and the sliders saved us again on that nasty double obstacle. I've been super happy with these Coastal Offroad sliders ever since. That cab corner is the last big dent I plan on adding without a fight. So that became the excuse. Time for 456s and a real locker. I found LTG4x4 out of Australia. They were offering eLocker just for the Ram 1500. I ordered it, Yukon 456s, and while the front end was apart, we swapped the worn factory upper control arms for core 4x4 adjustables. The ball joints in the old ones were shot anyway. I had a local shop swap in the 456s in the locker, broke the gears in, changed the oil the night before, woke up and drove 350 miles straight to Moab, right to Hell's Gate. Flipped on the locker, got a little too much bite on the driver's side. Passenger tire comes way up. My mirror smacks the rock. I think that saved us. Got it back down, and the gears and locker walk us up clean from there. Crowd went nuts. Man, that felt good. Thought we were unstoppable. Next day we planned for Poison Spider, into Golden Spike, into Gold Bar Rim. 12 hours of sliders grinding, lockers slipping, tires squealing, CV axles complaining, 3-foot ledges, and the Golden Crack. Having a blast. Then comes the big waterfall, Gold Bar Rim. Came off that Hell's Gate high and couldn't even get a tire on the face of that obstacle. No matter what line I tried. 35s and 2.5 inches of lift just flat ran out of it. 11 hours in, sun dropping, we winched it while Gammy filmed my walk of shame video. No shame really, just the low after the high. Truck had hit its limit. That waterfall is finally what did it. We rolled home and ordered a 6-inch BDS lift, RCV axles, core 4x4 control arms, and custom kings to clear real 37s. And that brings us to where we are today. If you want to see exactly how she sits now, full current walk around and all the details, that's next week's video. And after that, we're going to continue our 5-part series with drivetrain, suspension, armor, and all the other stuff rolled into one. Appreciate you watching the story. Hit subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.